Welcome to Focus. I'm Jordan Olivo. I'm joined today by a special guest, the District Attorney of Corpus Christi, Mark Gonzalez. Thanks for coming in and talking with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Super excited.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, get a little one-on-one with you. I love the baseball cap, Astros fan as well, so we're already off to a good start. So I kind of want to just get a little background on you. What kind of pushed you to go into the legal field? It's not easy, you know. Not everyone just becomes an attorney.
No, I completely agree. It's definitely not easy, whatever career path you choose.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure we have listeners and viewers out there who are wondering, what do I want to become? And how did that light turn on for you or for anyone out there? And so for those that don't know, I'm 38 years old, from a small town close to Corpus Christi, which is Agua Dulce, which is super small. I graduated with like 25 people in my high school class.
Wow.
So super little. I graduated number 7 out of the 25, so I tell people I'm top 10. Maybe not top 10%, but anyways.
You don't have to say how many, right?
Yeah, there you go. But no, so it's funny because I was going to Texas A&M here in Corpus, and my brother actually got his associates here who's going to A&M now, so go Vikings. But I was going to A&M here in Corpus, and a buddy of mine went to school in Kingsville.
Right.
So I went to a party over there, and I made a huge mistake. I got pretty intoxicated and drove my car home. And I was stopping to talk to a girl, and she was like, "There's a cop behind you." And sure enough, there was. So I got arrested, and I went to jail that night. So my parents got me out of jail. My mom and dad did, and so I didn't know any judges or anything, or even how to, what I should do. So 60 days later, I get a letter in the mail saying I have a court date.
Right.
And so, like I said, didn't know any lawyers, not even college graduates. And so my mom said, "Mijo, I'll go with you." And I'm like, "Sure, that sounds great. Take
we can count on our moms to fix anything.
Take your mom, and everything's gonna work out." Well, that didn't happen. So there was a Navy pilot there, and he had a lawyer. And I took my mom, and I got 1 year probation. I had you do a UA, meet with the probation officer once a month. And the Navy pilot who took a lawyer, his case was dismissed. So that's when the light went on for me. I'm like, you know what, this is kind of unfair. Like, we both did the same thing. Maybe I should try to become a lawyer. Didn't know how to do it, or didn't know any lawyers. And so I just kind of went to school, applied, and I got in. I graduated, then I took the bar a couple times, and then I passed by the grace of God, and I became a defense attorney.
Do you have a philosophy on second chances
when
it comes to going into like the courtroom?
I do. Right now across the country, progressive prosecution is something that's like cool again. You're not trying to see how many years you can get somebody, or you're not trying to see how can I ruin this person's life. Right. We're trying to figure out how do we stop the behavior, how do we make our community better. And that's kind of the philosophy that I've taken as a district attorney. What's working, people make a mistake, how can they learn from it, just the way I did.
Right.
I don't drink and drive anymore.
Yes.
I take an Uber, or I'll call my mom, or my wife drives me, or whatever. But I don't drink and drive anymore, but I made a mistake.
And you learned from it.
Yeah, and but also, if you make a huge mistake, sometimes it can cost you the ultimate price. I mean, if you kill someone, you're going to go to prison,
Yes.
or if you hurt somebody in a way that, you probably deserve the consequences. So we've taken that approach to where you want to be progressive, you want to hold people accountable, but look at them in a different light. If you have a drug issue, it's more of a health issue as opposed to a criminal issue. Do we want to incarcerate people who have mental health issues because they're out there committing crimes, not because they want to, because they're not medicated properly? I mean, there's tons of stuff where Nueces County is probably not leading the pack, but we're trying to at least get to par with other counties in the state and across the country.
Y'all have teamed up with
with
Del Mar College for a Cut It Out program.
Yeah.
Dealing with their cosmetologist. Can you tell me just a little more about?
So first off, I'll speak a little bit on the domestic violence problem.
Right.
It's really a cultural problem that has been in existence for quite some time, for probably
years,
as anyone can remember. And it's hard to solve that problem in the courthouse. And so that's why it's very important that we partner up with community leaders, and one community leader such as Del Mar. I mean, they're so committed to the community and a lot of the things that they do. And so they've helped us out with our Cut It Out program, where we've gone into the cosmetology classes and educated these future hairstylists and barbers on how to look for signs of domestic violence.
Right.
Because, you know, they'll form relationships with those individuals, and we want them to either give them the resources to say, look, this is not okay. Maybe you can go talk to a counselor, or there's resources out there for you.
Right.
Or, you know, call the cops if it's getting too bad. And they should probably call the cops every time. But it's just another way we're out there. I don't know how to fix this problem. I'll be honest with you and everyone listening out there. It's something that in the first year, my office has not been as successful as I'd want them to be. You know, I'm going to be upfront and transparent with everyone. I wish domestic violence didn't exist,
Right.
but it's still happening every day. And, you know, there was a case where it's been very publicized, the Danry Vasquez case.
Right.
You know, but the question is, what do we do with your brother who hits his wife, or the refinery worker or the teacher who gets frustrated and it happens one time? Do we send them to prison or to jail? And that affects his kids. That affects ultimately the wife. There's just so many questions, and it's complicated. I don't think we have, you know, the time to go into every single aspect of it. But it's something we're trying to combat, and we're going to be out there. And luckily, with the help of Del Mar, you know, we've teamed up with the cosmetology community and trying to get the word out there to help kind of minimize as much as we can.
Right. And I guess for the prosecution process
Sure.
with domestic abuse, how for those watching, maybe they're being abused now, they know someone, how does it pan out in the courtroom?
It's scary to them. I mean, think about it. You were abused as a victim, and then you have to go into court and share your story and testify against typically a person you care about or still care about, and get re-victimized again. You relive it all over again. And so we try to sometimes take that into consideration. And so that's why sometimes we don't give everyone jail time, or, you know, we put them on programs. For me, you know, we've talked to tons of experts, and experts say that, you know, education is the best way, and they have tons of classes. And some of these people, I'm a lawyer,
Right.
And you have therapists who are counselors, and they dedicated their lives to helping people in that aspect. And they say this is what works, you know. And so if we can get them that education and they never hurt their loved one again, I think that's a win-win for my office and for the community. You know, That's what we ultimately want to stop, people from hurting people they love.
I appreciate you for taking your time
Sure.
out to come talk to us. We got to learn a little about you, a little about the Cut It Out program.
Well, nice to meet you, ma'am. Thank you for having me. Again, I think Del Mar is a great community partner, and everything they're doing, as long as Nueces County is a great place.
Right. I'd like to thank my guest, Mark Gonzalez, again for stopping by. I'm Jordan Olivo with Focus.